What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and today is round 4 of our March Madness Bourbon Bracket Single Barrel Edition. I need to know in the comment section below if your bracket is already busted or if you're still in the game today. Today we have Mermaid Spirits. This is out of Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, up against a big name that you probably know. This is Benchmark Single Barrel from Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. We all know the name. We're going to pour these up, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. Now, I got to be careful with this one. This is the 6-player Great Whiskey Challenge wall mount. Normally, this would be mounted to a wall. Imagine this at your bar, mounted to the wall, filled with whiskey. You have 6 of your best friends coming over. You get 6 of the scorecards, as well as the podiums, as well as 6 pencils with your A, B, and C tags. This kit right here is something that you should have in your collection. This is going to include everything that you see here, all 18 glasses, everything I mentioned before, everything except the whiskey sitting over here. Mount this to your wall, have your friends come over, and they're going to absolutely enjoy this entire experience. Check them out, greatwhiskeychallenge.com. Link in the description below. Use BOTWMM as in March Madness for 10% off, as well as free shipping. Cheers, y'all. Of course, for us today, we're just going to need our A and our B glass. The rest of this can go away carefully, and let's pour these up, and let's get into round 3 of our March Madness Bourbon Bracket Single Barrel Edition. Brought to you by the Great Whiskey Challenge. Cheers, y'all. So let's go. Let's get into this. I'm excited to try these out next to each other. This is Mermaid Spirits. We're going to talk about this a little bit more once we get really into things. We're going to pour this up to the pour line. Normally I go over. Spilled a little bit, but we're right at the pour line. And then, of course, our benchmark is going to go into glass B over here. Make sure that everything matches. Tags with letters on the bottom. Glass B straight up to our pour line. As is tradition, we went over just a little bit. Quick little cleanup. Outside of the glass so nobody thinks, oh, he saw some drips down the side. Quick, make sure they're even as they are, and everybody's favorite part, let's mix these up. That should be good. All right, here we go. Mermaid Spirits versus Benchmark. Everybody knows before we go any further, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. Spicy. The great thing about this particular matchup is I don't really know a lot about either one of these bottles. We'll start with Mermaid Spirits. This is privately selected single barrel straight bourbon whiskey at cask strength, selected by none other than Rocky, a co-founder of PA Bourbon Squad. Sorry, Matt, you didn't make the cut, but this is R80. This is alcohol content of 117.5 proof. It's bottle number 88. They are out of Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. They have a lot of stuff other than the whiskey that you see here. This is MGP. It says right on the back here, produced and bottled by Mermaid Spirits in Huntington Valley, PA, distilled in Indiana, perfected in Pennsylvania. Other than that, the most we know about this is it's corn, rye, and a choice malted barley, and it's aged for over 4 years, which is interesting because if we move over to this bottle right here, this is Benchmark Single Barrel. This is coming in at 95 proof. This is mash bill number 1, I believe, from Buffalo Trace, which is their low rye mash bill. And this is also aged probably around that 4 to 5 year mark. And that's all we really know about either one of these bottles, right? A little bit of secrecy going on here, both with MGP and, of course, Buffalo Trace never tells us anything. So really what we're coming down to today, strictly on taste, which bottle tastes better? Cheers, y'all. I think with the proof difference on this, we're going to be able to figure this out, right? 95 proof versus 117 proof. I have drank this. I haven't drank this one yet. I think so far that this is probably Benchmark, but let's try this one and find out. Gotta be. Listen, when you're dealing with a bracket like this is how things are going to shake out once in a while. You're going to get some cask strength stuff versus some lower proof stuff. Of course, I could go out of my way and find all the same proof stuff in single barrels, but that's not the fun of it, right? We're here to figure out which one tastes better, whether we know which one is which or not. I also think it's important to note that whoever wins this round will be taking on Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, which is obviously a higher proof. So could the 95 proof, even coming out of Buffalo Trace, stand up to that? Or does it take something from MGP at cask strength to really stand up to that? Now, Rocky has a great pick here, and if you want to check out Mermaid Spirits, I think there are a few available still. I'll put that link in the description below, but you should definitely buy this, especially if you're in Pennsylvania. Support this company. Go try it out. This glass, if it is the benchmark, seems like it's exactly what I would get for something like this, right? This is a cheaper bottle of whiskey. I think all of the benchmark runs between like $18 to $25 max. This is probably closer to the $25 range. I actually have a video coming out. We'll probably push it out to April with everything we have going on in March for the benchmark lineup. I have all 6 of the bottles. I didn't do the benchmark 8, the bottom shelf stuff, but this one, I forget where it even fell on that list. It's been so long since I actually shot that video. We should definitely put that out soon. But this is kind of what I'm expecting from a lower quality Buffalo Trace product with a lower age statement and that 95 proof. Nothing exciting, but at the same time, if we were to include price in this, I could understand why people would like it for the price. Now, on the other hand, this glass is giving me the exact opposite experience, right? It's giving me a lot of flavors. It's giving me a good rye spice. It's giving me some sweetness off the front. It's giving me a little bit of oak, nothing overwhelming, a very, very subtle amount of oak. Actually, for me personally, I would say I want a little bit more oak, and you guys know I'm not the biggest oak guy. It's definitely something you have to search for in this glass, but it is there. And same thing with this glass over here, a very subtle hidden oak note. But at the end of the day, you're getting so much more flavor out of this, which I'm assuming is the higher proof, versus this one over here, which I'm assuming is the lower proof. Now, I've been wrong before, so this could easily be drinking hot at 95 proof and giving me all the flavors that I love because it's Buffalo Trace, and this one could very easily be drinking under its proof, but at the same time underperforming when it comes to the flavor. But let's get back into these glasses. We got a few more sips to try them out. The sweetness on this glass, while it is hard to find, I think I like the sweetness better than the one over here. This one right now is giving me those brown sugar notes, those vanilla notes, but then again, that spiciness kind of tapers off, and at the end of the day, there's just not quite enough oak behind it. This one, while the sweetness is still good, I love the spice that this has to offer. It gives me that rye spice that I truly love. It steps up in this glass, and it's not hidden. This one right over here is definitely more flavorful, but this one over here might be a little bit more well-balanced, and I'm not quite sure which one I like better at this point because both of them are giving me something that I enjoy, and I'm not quite sure if either of them are taking anything away with the value of it with everything going on in these glasses. I don't know what I'm going to pick. We've got a little bit more here. We're obviously going to finish these up, and then we've got to pick a winner. Going into each week, I kind of talk about the matchup that I see in front of me. The only person that I really think drew the short straw was going to be Rebel, only because Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof is a tough competitor no matter who you are. It's one of the best bottles, people say, when it comes to the money. This bottle right here, I think a lot of people slept on just because maybe they didn't know that much about it. This is MGP, so we know it's going to be good juice, but up against Buffalo Trace, who is so good at that blending process, so good at being smooth and dynamic, and everything about the blending can hide maybe some flaws in some younger whiskey, and that's what this glass seems to present to me. While this glass might be a little less dynamic, a little less complex when it comes to the blending process, the flavors are definitely better for me, and that's what you're going to get over 117 proof versus 95 proof, and I think that's what's going to put this glass over the edge. Now again, I don't know if this is the Mermaid Spirits, but if I had to guess, that's who we got as our winner. As a matter of fact, the more and more I drank these, the easier that this one became to sip. There's always shock value, so I started with this one, and then when I moved to this one, that higher proof, again, from what I think is that higher proof, definitely gave me more burn going into it, but as I acclimated my palate, as these opened up just a little bit, this did become easier to sip, so we can almost take that away as a negative for this glass right here. This, still a delicious glass. If this is a $25 bottle of whiskey, it absolutely is fantastic, and you should pick up the benchmark lineup, but I gotta stick with it. I gotta say this one's gonna be our winner, but we've gotta figure out now which one it is. Listen guys, if you've stuck around this long and you like this type of content, any of these blinds or this March Madness, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button, but let me get a drum roll, please. Our winner is, I don't know if it's Mermaid Spirits, I'll be completely honest with you. It is Mermaid Spirits, guys. That's going to be moving on. Our Rocky pick will be taking on Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof in the semifinals. It's definitely got a tough competition up against that. But listen, this is obviously a short one today. Not knowing much about these bottles, there wasn't a lot of information to give. But make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check us out on Patreon, that link in the description below. And come chat with us 24/7 on Discord. That part's free. Come hang out, come chat with us. Let us know your favorite bottle that you're sipping on right now. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly and stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. Nothing left. Pretty good though.